Drummers Against implied timekeeping, 3 things every drummer should know. I want to discuss just 3 general areas for every drummer to understand, especially if you have aspirations of doing it for a living. And as a disclaimer, this is my opinion and my opinion only. And try to understand that, because I can only explain my situation to those of you who are visiting. But it's based on 49 years, and I've been in and out, out and in, every which way around, and thousands upon thousands of gigs, I'm almost ashamed to admit. But I want to give you a general idea, if you're a younger player in your teens, or you're just out of music school, what are the 3 areas or the things that I think are most important, all right? Now, the first is purpose. If you're playing the drums for fun, that is obviously a purpose, and to enjoy yourself. That is absolutely essential. You have to enjoy doing what you're doing. But also, you should always evaluate the purpose of when you're playing with others. I was fortunate enough when I was younger, as a young teenager, like 15, 16, I was playing with people who were 21, 22, 23, and it helped me mature quicker. And that's something I want you to know. If you're in your teen years, you are going to be playing with guys your own age, of course. But if you can, and you are fortunate enough to play with better players, and especially if they're older, they're probably more experienced and seasoned, definitely, if that opportunity comes, do it. I can't recommend that. Because it helps you. It gives you a better sense of yourself, and your improvement increases faster. The other thing, obviously, is money. We play for money, and we have to make money, and this is a business. Never forget that. But it depends if you're playing top 40 or some concert band where there's payment. Keep this in mind. You want to make money, but that isn't the sole reason, money and fame. You do it because you're enjoying it. It'll help you grow as a player. It'll help you meet other players and other musicians. And this is important under the purpose generality. Keep it in mind at all times. You know, things change in life as you're moving along. You may change to a different area of where you're living. A new job may come in. Never lose sight, though, of your purpose of playing. Overall, on top of having fun doing it. If you want to do it professionally, the variables change because you are under a competitive with other musicians vying for the same things that you are, and that's to make a living doing this great art form we call trap set, or the modern drum set. All right? Understand that purpose is very important. Don't lose focus on minor things and minutia. You know, a bad gig, you know, bad musician at the gig, bad people at the gigs. Gigs are just things that happen. You do and make the best of whatever's around you. You don't let it get you down. And I can tell you, I've done not too many, but probably 100 bad gigs that were just horrible over the thousands I've done. And I just never lost focus. As long as I understood why I was doing it, whether the money was fantastic, or it allowed me to travel to a place I had not been to before, just keep in mind, always ask yourself, why am I doing it? And it's usually, hopefully, to improve your situation. This second part I call potential probability. And what I mean is, when you're applying yourself to playing with others, try to focus on that potential probability that it will take you somewhere. And this should be self-evident. If you're involved with someone who you can see writes interesting songs, has just a personality that's very affable with others, you want to be involved with those people. You want to be or stay away from other musicians that are problematic, who aren't that way, the opposite. So it's difficult to put your finger on it, but instinctively you should understand if you're around someone who's able to write good lyrics and is a good songwriter, and you happen to not be a good songwriter, but you're improving as a drummer, you want to be around that person. And that's why I call it potential probabilities. It comes in many different ways, and it's sometimes deceiving. You don't know. You might have someone who's got a difficult personality, for example, but they seem to connect with an audience on a personal level, you know? This should be something you have to be keen to watch as a player and want to be around those people. Because there were a lot of times I can look back on some musicians that, you know, were not the friendliest or nicest, but they did connect with their audience and they helped potential probability. You have to kind of suck that up and understand that. It depends. Some of them may not be personable with you, but have this other variable, and you have to understand that, all right? A drummer needs to know these things. Besides getting along with everyone, that's a given, but you have to go one step further. Even if you're not getting along, how does it help my position, all right? Think in terms of longevity and opportunities that can come about. So it may come to you in a weird way where it's negative, but try to assess things better. That's the best way I can say about potential probability. And the third, I'm calling it musically collaborative. Now this is a broad stroke, because can you contribute to the song as the songwriter is coming in a collaborative way? Do the other musicians, you're actually writing songs together, collaboratively. And this is a wonderful thing. I had lots of opportunities to do that, and it was great because the drums connected with the bass, with the piano, with the sax, whatever the instruments were. And it just worked, and that was fantastic. There'll be certain situations where you'll not be musically collaborative, but you definitely want to be involved in somewhat of a collective spirit as a songwriter, because it's important, especially for the future with those songs with your name on it. You don't always think of that in those terms, but when a songwriter brings a song down with his lyrics and his music, her lyrics and music, rather than just be an accompanying player, which is fine, if the opportunity lends itself for you to work on the song as a group, you want to take full advantage of that, because it's your future as well. You have songwriting credits. Even though you didn't maybe write the lyric, you could have written a specific rhythm that helped it along, and you want to be part of that as far as being credited for it, all right? There are so many other variables that go along with things, and I didn't want to make this a long lecture on the whole thing because we're drummers. We're looking to play drums, play them well, get better at it, understand the music that's coming at us, because as a drummer they just present the thing that they're doing. But you are an artist, and you're the heartbeat of a band, and most of the musicians realize how important you are. A drummer is really important, and they know this. And if you're a good drummer, they want you around, and you can sense that. But with that license, so to speak, you have to be aware of these other variables. So it's the purpose of why you're doing it, and that can run to a lot of things. The second is this thing that I call potential probabilities, that it would open up avenues to you that you would not have had you not been around this person or persons. And the third is this thing I call musically collaborative, the ability to contribute to a song or songs, lots of songs, that lend your name to them as well, all right? Of course, there are so many other things that go with playing, but I want you to enjoy the trip that you're doing. Whatever your musical goals are, I want you to achieve them. But I want you to understand, while you're playing and you're improving, your value becomes important. And it depends how good you are, all right? And who you're meeting, and what you're doing, and where you are, and when you are. There's just too many things. But for those of you who come visit here, these are the things that I've come away with after 49 years of absolutely loving what we do, all right? Now, if you have specific questions, this is a difficult thing to try to answer, but in the comment section I will try very briefly. Hopefully this covers it generally. And of course, I teach in the open-handed position, and I would like you to just explore my catalog, because the things that I'm teaching are the basis of my channel. To understand an open-handed position playing and to utilize your technical abilities to their highest potential. So go through the catalog. I'm on Facebook.com/Drummers Against Implied Timekeeping, Twitter.com/Drummers Against. And for those of you just coming in and just saw the title, welcome. I have a lot of videos in the catalog, so if you have any questions on those, let me know. And if you haven't, please subscribe, because your subscription is the support for me to continue, and I want to thank you always for that. So this is just 3 areas or 3 things every drummer should know. All right? And I'll keep doing the videos as they come to me if I think they're important for those of you who are kind of coming in here. All right? My best to all of you. And let me know what you think. Take care.